Hello guys and welcome back to a new Genshin Impact video. In this video I wanted to quickly talk about Ayaka. Maybe this video will...
A blade embraces its duty.
Yeah, please stop talking, thank you. I wanted to talk about Ayaka and the... how do I say this? And the following DPS characters. Because if we compare it to the old days, we only had Diluc and Keqing. I honestly have to say Keqing's stats are at the moment completely uncontested by any other character. It's not even close. The only character within full artifact set, the artifact set is at the moment wearing Kasua, is maybe Zhao with 190 crit damage and around 80 or around 70 crit rate. So he's almost critting every attack, which is fine. But we don't have any other characters besides Keqing and Diluc. Maybe Venti if you build him right, but I don't think he was an actual DPS character. He was a good sub DPS because of his burst, but he wasn't good in the complete upfront class at that. But then Ayaka came along. Well, okay, let's say it like that. Diluc and Keqing was getting dethroned by Zhao. Zhao is an awesome DPS. He's really good, he's really doing quite some damage, and he dethroned them. Actually, I don't think that anyone was able to contest with Zhao. Then the community was getting along also with Razor because he was a good DPS character as a physical damage dealer. But elemental damage is always better. That's the point. Elemental damage is always better because a lot of enemies have physical defense, while only the elemental enemies like the slimes or the abyss mages have their own elemental defense. And that's the point. Elemental damage is always better.
A blade embraces its duty.
If I can show you it right now, the team I used the most is actually that one. Maybe the Ayaka was switched around with Raiden Shogun. It doesn't really matter, I only had them because I needed a sub DPS. And the Ayaka is awesome with that because she can only place her 3 elemental parts, and then she can get out of there, make room for Zhongli or for Ningguang in that regard. And the same with Raiden. She can just use her elemental skill and then get out of there. They both have quite similar roles, but they are quite different in terms of damage dealing. And yeah, then I got Ayaka and I instantly got her to level 80 to get all the parts of her, or to level up all the elements, especially her burst and her normal attack, because they are infused with the cryo element after her sprint dodge, or after her sprint in any point. I will look if I'm ever going to get the normal ability leveled up. The scaling on that is quite nice. It goes up to 400. And yeah, let's say it like that. She has quite some attack. She okay, her stats are alright. The crit damage could be way higher. Her artifact. I highly recommend you to use the 4-piece of the Blizzard Strayer. Yes, that is... The Goblet is bullshit. The Goblet is really bullshit, but it was the only one I got after like 20 or 30 times in the domain that has cryo damage on it. I think it's the second time I ever got a cryo goblet. Also the flower is not good. Yeah, that is fine with the crit damage at 20. The hourglass, it's also quite bad. The helmet is fine. The helmet is fine, I think. And for free-to-play players, the Amanoma Kaguchi is the best software. The attack percentage is already fine because she needs a high attack for her elemental burst scaling because that is her main damage part. But actually, the little seeds she gets after using an elemental ability really helps her to get her burst back because her bursts have 80 energy cost, which is extremely high if you compare it to Diluc with 40 or Keqing with 40. She has also 40. The old characters only had 40 elemental cost for her bursts, and 80 is actually quite a bit. You need to get it done. Like, if I'm going to use like Diluc's burst on a group of enemies, most of the times I instantly got the burst back up. Almost the same with Keqing. With Ayaka, I really need to hit the full duration on someone, get all the elemental crystals, and I still need to do some of her elemental abilities to get the elemental burst back. But the point is, I tested it with Diluc, with my full artifact set, and with Keqing. And you saw the Keqing stats; they were quite good. And I honestly have to say, they are not even close to Ayaka's damage, because let me show it to Rune Colossus. That is an enemy that has quite a high HP count, which makes it pretty easy to show it. Okay, we are only at 7 minutes, so I can. So that's the point. I only remember 2 positions of the Rune Colossus. That is that one here, and on the south part of the Dragon Spine. So, and on that regards comes Kokomi in the game because she is constantly. Let me turn the music a little bit down, because it could be quite loud. But the Kokomi is quite nice because she is constantly freezing them with Ayaka's burst, because of the constant waves of Hydro. And now let's only watch the damage on her burst. And the Colossus is almost dead. If we now go and get out of here. Sorry. And we're now going to. I think it was that team. No. Okay. Let's get Keqing in the game. Oops. I need to. I need to deploy them. So. See. I only want to show you that they are quite different in terms of burst. Ayaka's burst is only 4 damage, while Keqing's burst also gives her a little buff. But you can see it on the damage, it's not even close. But the point is she gets 15 crit damage and she gets elemental recharge. And you can see it, it's only 1 enemy. And if you look at the right down corner, you can see her burst is already or almost ready again, and is ready again. And that is the point. They both have bursts that seem to be similar because they are DPS parts, but Keqing gives herself a buff which helps her normal attacks, while Ayaka just is straight up damage. She doesn't even care about anything else. It's straight out damage. And that's what makes her elemental burst quite nice. Especially if you consider the part that I gave her an actual team that is built around her. You saw that the Rune Colossus was not dead. But we are going to make a next test because I have Rosaria in this team for a reason. For a little part on my side. You can build this team completely as an player you don't really likes pulling on characters they don't want. I like Kazuha. He was an upfront DPS for a time, but I quickly saw that he is not the best main DPS character. But he's fine. And you can see this if you look at the team, you can see that all is pretty much built around Ayaka. We have the Elemental Resonance, more crit rate against frozen enemies, for that is the Kokomi. You could go for Barbara. The problem with Barbara is that you have to stand right at the side of the enemy with Barbara or with the main character that has Barbara's elemental skill around her. Or you could use Shinshu, but I honestly have to say I have him C6, so I could get the most out of him. But the point that his elemental burst needs 80 energy makes it a bit hard to get it constantly fresh again. Because he needs his elemental burst. Even if he uses his elemental skill, which lets these little free swords flowing around you, it's the same problem with Barbara. You need to be exactly at the side of the enemy that these little swords are hitting the enemy and gave them the Hydro debuff. So you can freeze them with the Choirs. And in that regard, Kokomi is way better because she can just deploy her little jellyfish, and it is constantly pulsing Hydro elements out. So that really works for her. Then Rosaria for the behalf for the Cryo Resonance, and because her elemental burst is just nice. Yes, the damage is not the best, but it only has the 60 energy cards. That is completely fine. And every character gets more crit rate, which is quite nice. Except for Rosaria. I don't know why MiHoYo said that Rosaria don't get her own buff. Yeah, and Kazuha for the damage and for the elemental reactions. It's really nice. And he needs 60 element energy cost, but that is quite confusing because with his normal elemental skill, he really gets the elemental crystals really, really fast. Especially, I gave him the Sacrificial Sword because doing it 2 times is really, really nice. And the elemental recharge of 61% is really good. That's super high. Otherwise, I can't. Well, you could, if you want to, you could get Kazuha out of there and get him another sub DPS. You could go for Raiden Shogun. She works actually fine. I tested it, and her elemental skill don't procs with every hit of Ayaka's burst, but every 3 or 4 or around that. And that made actually quite a lot of damage, because Ayaka's burst hits around 20 times, if I'm correct. It hits around 20 times in this 5 seconds duration, and you can see it's almost 200% on every hit, and the last hit is the big explosion, and that's also almost 300%. And you can see it's going up to 200 and 300%, which makes it really, really good. And that is why I think that Ayaka is still, to this day, or since she released, is still maybe the best main DPS we have in the game. If you consider that her normal attacks, here, her normal attacks are cryo-based, if he dodged. Which makes it pretty awesome. So, let's show you now. Where's the Dragon Spine? There's the Dragon Spine. I'm going to kill this Rune Colossus, and with the help of Rosaria. I'm only going to use Rosaria's burst too. I could use Kazua's, but I'm pretty sure this would be completely overkill if I'm using Rosaria and Kazuha for the same time. Oh hey, I am partially out of the world right now. Yeah, I really need a dark background, otherwise if my t-shirt is keyed out, that's fine, but look at that, now I am only a flowing head, woo! Okay, not quite, but almost. So, let's get a little bit warm now, let's warm up for the fight! And, again, Ayaka's stats are not perfect. They are actually mediocre if you consider that it's only 146 crit damage. Normally you want around 180 to 200 if you are really trying to build her good. And that's sadly the part. I don't got any good Goblet. This could be even better. The feather is fine. The feather is actually really fine. And the flower could really do some work too. But I want the 4-part Blizzard Strayer set. So, now my little Rune Colossus friend. Let's show you the way to the afterlife. So.
You can't run. Lights out. My apologies.
I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Okay, let's kill it. Let's kill him with normal attacks. Look at the damage. Okay, we have to go to the chasm again for this. So, and Rosaria's burst is again already. Whee! And jumped out the ray, bitch. Okay. Okay, let's get to the chasm back. I think I didn't kill it, right? Did I kill it? I don't think so. No, it's still there. Nice! Get over here! Okay, okay, not quite. I'm going to get over him. So, again, only Rosaria's burst and the burst of Ayaka will do it. Whoa! Hey buddy, don't run off the cliff. So, and now let's get that. I fucked up. The burst of Rosaria just completely missed, okay. That is bullshit! Okay. Okay, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't good at any point, but I completely failed that it's on my behalf. It's not the character or something like that. But I hope you understand what I tried to showcase you. Because, if the Rune Colossus almost died because of Ayaka's burst alone, with Rosaria's crit rate improvement and her damage obviously too, it really kills the Colossus. And I think that is everything I wanted to say. yes, that should be it. I think that's really it. If you have something else to say about Ayaka's burst or the combinations you could get out of the game, like I said, you could get a free-to-play variant of this team with Barbara and, as in cryo support, Kaya. But the problem is that their area of effects are super small, and that is something that is a bit tedious. You could get Mona, because her elemental skill also is a bit like Kokomi's, and it's bringing enemies to attack the little thingy. And Shinshu, yes, with his burst, obviously, yes. Otherwise, it's the same problem like with Barbara. He needs to be really, really close. But yeah, you could get a free-to-play variant of this team. The only thing you need is obviously Ayaka. Otherwise, I think I'm done here. You can bring in some little tips in the comments. Leave a like if you liked it. A dislike if don't. And we see it on the next time. And bye.